Hello.
Oh, hello, good. So you guys can be heard, I can be heard, and that must mean it is the Slam Jam Wrestling Show here on the Extreme Improv Xstreamed channel. And we are going to react to WrestleMania. We're going to react to the Supercard of Honor. We're going to have reactions, because I think something's going on, because I've got hives coming up. Now, on the show tonight, we have a fantastic lineup. It's a triple threat, myself included. So I think everyone has just wrestled out over the last week. But Sarajit, say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
Excellent. Concise. Corey, say hello to the people.
Oh, here I am as the world's most dangerous wrestler.
Okay, now...
Blood Sheamus.
What the hell? Who the hell made that?
I mean, somebody that's not very good with...
You made it, didn't you?
I wish. Wait, I have a fact for you, David.
Okay,
From a different book this time.
What?
This is...
But I've got the answers here.
I've got... I have that one too, of course. But I have this one. It's more updated.
Hold on. Since you guys are holding some wrestling books, let me get mine. Wait.
Okay, we'll wait.
Quick run.
Wait in silence. Yeah, run. Wait. But David, the most important thing that I learned from this book, 100 Things, is there's wrestling outside of WWE. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
Is there life outside of WWE? Like,
I don't
generally?
think so, but without this book, we wouldn't have got that hot take.
How many books are you guys holding?
Wow.
Okay.
Those are advent calendars filled with chocolate. Don't lie to us.
Okay, but like, when you say how many books are we holding, is that to say that they are all of your wrestling books? Because I could beat you.
Ooh.
I think yes.
Oh, and I literally could just reach here and, like, I'm just going to keep beating you. Like, we'll go there. We'll go there. Right.
Keep beating you. All right.
Okay, so... anyway, I don't know if anything interesting's happened in the world of wrestling over the last week or so it might be a slow episode.
Well, the prodigal son returned.
Yes, Corey is here, but enough about him. Right, so, look, yeah, it's been WrestleMania, it's been Supercard of Honor, AEW was on last night, all kinds of stuff has been happening. The son of a plumber... son may have turned up somewhere or something. Let's react to some of the things. We'll have some fun and some laughs along the way. First of all, let's get some initial impressions. What did you guys think of WrestleMania overall?
David, I have to say, it was the most stupendous WrestleMania. Legally, I'm obligated to say that.
Yeah, no, so. I do you know what, like, I genuinely, I really enjoyed it. Like,
yeah,
first night especially, I really enjoyed.
Yeah. That stunner. That stunner.
Oh, that was on night two. That was on night two.
I know it was.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, that stunner was perhaps the greatest, that was the most stupendous stunner I have ever seen.
Oh boy, yeah.
Sarah G.
The results of...
No, go ahead, Corey.
I was going to say the results of Stand to Deliver really mattered.
Well, yeah.
Really mattered, yeah. Because Braun Breakers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. See, that is such a WWE thing to do, though. Like,
it is.
Like, because it was so obvious, they'd do something different, which, like, in the grand scheme of things, obviously wasn't a good idea to not give Breaker the WrestleMania weekend win. But it's because it was so obvious, they gave Ziggler the win. This was like when they had Zack Ryder win the Intercontinental title in the ladder match, and then just took it from him like the next day.
Yeah.
Sarah G, what was your highlight of WrestleMania weekend?
My highlight was obviously Stone Cold's match. I mean, I thought it was going to be a squash match, but the way the match unfolded, the way he took bumps, I mean, like suplexing on concrete floor, on steel ramps, it looked like he didn't miss a beat in 19 years.
Yeah, no, yeah, okay, right, I agree. Like, my biggest thought from, like, that, what you just mentioned, though, was, like, the first bump Austin took was a suplex in the crowd. And it was just like, couldn't have they done that in the ring? Couldn't have they done that, like, anything else? You know, something else, like as his first bump. But kudos to him, kudos. Let's quickly go over some of the things that happened, and if we've got anything in particular to react to, we can do. Yeah, go for it, Corey. Or did you just say cool?
I just said the Johnny Knoxville match. Holy.
Oh man, there is so much. Okay, so here was what's interesting. I ran out of time. I was just trying to do a little bit of maths, but it wasn't going well.
Quick maths.
Yeah, because like each night was about 4 hours long, I believe. And when you go through how long the matches lasted, like I worked out the second night, and I think there was 90 minutes of wrestling in a 4-hour show.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and on the first night, I don't think it's potentially even worse. Because, like, that one's... So I'm going to do some quick maths here, and it's going to go badly. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, over an hour. Less than 2 hours. The less than 2 hours is what I can work out in a 4-hour show. But, like, the second night was, I think, 90 minutes in a 4-hour show, which is quite a thing. But anyway, so let's go over the matches. We had the Usos defeating Shinsuke and Rick Boogs by pinfall in 6 minutes 55. What did you guys think of that? Obviously, Boogs had a bit of a an accident.
Yeah, I had some like lapsed fans that come over, just as like a tradition for WrestleMania. They come over, but they watched and they're like, "Oh, this guy!" Like they're like, "Oh, this guy looks stupid. Oh, he's kind of cool. Oh, he's strong." And then he fucked up, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's shit." So they totally. He lost them, he won them back, and then he lost them again.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Funny.
Was what it was.
Maybe the match was supposed to run a little bit longer. Maybe the injury caused the match to end prematurely.
Yeah, I heard that. Like, the weirdest thing over the weekend was that I don't know if, like, the people who were reporting this just linked two stories together, but they reported that because he got injured and the match ran short, they ended up cutting the New Day match. Which I was like, but if it ran short, that meant that they should have had extra time. I've got no idea. No idea.
Yeah,
but
strange.
Yeah, anyway, after that we had Drew McIntyre defeating Happy Corbin. I think the most interesting things for this, for me, was one, obviously Corbin's finisher got kicked out of, and then, oh my god, that is incredible what we've got going on there, Corey. So wait for it, wait for it, and there we go. So, okay, let's see it again. We're going to react to this stunner just on repeat. The worst stunner of all time.
I legit thought he tore his quads again.
What? He tore his quads?
I thought he tore his quads again. The way
I don't think his quads have healed yet from, like, the first time. No, but you might be right. So anyway, yeah, so... Obviously, kicking out the finish and then using a rubber sword to cut the ropes during the second match at Mania. So,
why not?
Anything you guys want to react to that match?
I feel like it's a nothing match. Like, also, again, sorry to keep referencing my friends, but like they're Labs fans. They've seen Baron Corbin before, but they didn't recognize him because he goes through so many character changes.
Yeah.
That it's just like, it's so inconsequential, his wins and losses.
Oh, that's his next character change, inconsequential Corbin, so yeah.
The inconsequential champion.
Yeah. That's a good one, that's good. Okay, after that we had Miz and Logan Paul defeated Rey and Dominic Mysterio. 11-minute match. I'm going to say it, Logan Paul made me a bit of a believer here. You know, he didn't look bad in the ring.
Yeah, he brought it.
I had a feeling that they'll be winning their match because see, WWE has a very old habit of I don't know, they give out spoilers of what the result might be at the upcoming pay-per-view. See, if the wrestler or the team who gets the upper hand, the weekly show just before the pay-per-view always loses on the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mysterios took back their mask. They delivered a 619 on the Miz.
Yeah.
So I was kind of
expecting
thinking that the Mysterios might lose the match, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, look, if Logan Paul wasn't willing to put over Floyd Mayweather in the boxing ring, he wasn't going to put over Dominic Mysterio, was he? So, I think the idea of Miz versus Logan Paul, they may literally just wait a year until they do that. I don't think there's going to be anything, unless there's something on Raw I missed, but I don't think anything's going to come out of that. Other than that, it just gives the potential for something future to happen.
It was so weird. Like no reason for him to
match, I think after the match on a backstage interview, Logan Paul dropped the F-bomb on the Miz.
Did he?
F-bomb.
Wow.
Yep.
Did you call wrestling fake? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, just unbelievable.
The F-bomb.
Yeah, but other than that, like I would say, like when you saw, what did we get from Logan Paul? We got a buff blockbuster, we got 3 amigos, and those vertical suplexes were so fast. It just looked like he killed himself and Mysterio doing it. We got a frog splash, which I'll be honest, looked better than Dominic's. So, you know,
that's weird though because Dominic is Eddie's son, so he should be able to perfect it. I mean, here's the thing. I'm so disappointed what they've done with Ray. I guess he's just kind of in that point in his career because he used to be just top tier. He was the champ, right? And now he's in these like comedy celebrity matches with The Miz. And I mean, The Miz knows what he is and he does it well. He's a schmarmy heel with a limited moveset. Everybody hates him and wants to punch his face.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that Ray has been caught up with that, in my opinion. I don't know. I used to like Rey Mysterio a lot. Is that a controversial opinion? No,
why would it be? Like, doesn't everyone like Rey? The only time they didn't like Rey was when it wasn't Daniel Bryan in the Rumble that we spoke about last week. Okay, cool. Moving on from that, we had Bianca defeating Becky. 19 minutes 10 seconds Raw match, singles match for the Raw Women's Championship. Anyone want to react to that? That you're bringing the Mysterio with you there, Corey?
Perhaps the joint best match of the night, of day one.
That was not a day one. That was at WrestleMania.
Yeah, day one was a different pay-per-view. You're right.
WrestleMania day one.
Oh, WrestleMania day one. But hang on, wasn't WrestleMania day one technically SmackDown WrestleMania or Raw WrestleMania Raw?
Yeah, everything 3 months before and 3 months after is WrestleMania or something.
Yeah, and I don't know, are we getting a WrestleMania backlash this year? Who knows? We are. Oh, no.
You think so? Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay, so yeah, I thought it was a good match. Glad Bianca won. She got you see the photos of her eye afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She was on Raw. She had a black eye.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Absolutely.
The injury was not that much of a serious one.
Yeah, it could have been more serious for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
No, go ahead.
No, it was a good match. It was a really good match. It's hard to criticize.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we don't just have to criticize. We can say things are good as well.
No.
Okay, so next up, we had Seth freaking Rollins going against a mystery opponent. Now, did anyone for a split second think that they were teasing The Undertaker?
It looked like Bray Wyatt for a hot second.
Oh my god, that would have been awful.
But yeah, everybody brought out their phones like the Fireflies. But man, I'm glad they did it. But I also give it 3 weeks. Cody's in the mid card. He'll be with the Mysterios fighting Logan Paul in the mid.
I thought it went so well, and like the crowd reaction was good, and I genuinely was really into it. And I've always liked Cody, but I think
what.
No, I like Cody. I do like Cody. Like, he's the one that started the revolution. He is the throne breaker. What can I say? He's not the Bron breaker. He is the throne breaker. But if you saw Raw with his like promo, and like, I almost feel like they're trying to self-destruct Cody just by letting him be Cody. Is my honest opinion, because WWE don't normally have a media scrum, and yet like the next morning there was like an hour-long media scrum with Cody was the only person at it, and then he's been on the bump, then he's been on like Raw, and it's getting like big views on YouTube. But like he cried 3 times on his Raw promo, and I just think they're gonna let him, you know, the audience, they're gonna
overexpose himself.
Yeah, overexpose himself. He's gonna do his, you know, his best acting class performance, and you know, the fake crying. I think they're going to turn on him pretty quick.
or they'll bring in Stephen Amell from the Arrow, do a crossover match and a bow and arrows match with him and Stephen Amell.
Well, I think he's still due to like have a return match with Christopher Daniels from All In, to be honest.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think you're right. Like, I don't know that Cody's character is going to get over as. I mean, it got a good reaction from like because I mean, also WrestleMania has like the smartest, most invested fans at it for the most part.
Yeah, yeah.
So like those people knew what was going on, but for like an outside viewer, again, sorry to keep bringing up these people that don't watch wrestling, but like they did in the '90s, but they're like, who the hell is this guy? Why should we care? And by the end of it, they still didn't really. So like for like new fans, if they're trying to reach out, or whatever, like it's definitely good for like the smart Mark Sterlings like us, but for like Labs fans, he's not really a huge draw in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think if WWE is smart, because I think a lot of AEW wrestlers, MJF is going to be watching this, thinking, well, look, if I jump from AEW to WWE, am I going to end up in the mid card within 3 weeks? Mm-hmm. You know, so I think that they need to push Cody, just if nothing else, as the sales pitch to the AEW wrestlers, so that like later on, like there might be some others want to jump ship or considering it, and you know if it just goes, because like WWE have got the great tradition of anyone that WCW or ECW like had as a star, they just bring them in and bury them. Like
hey, DDP did really good. What are you talking about?
Well, DDP, Vader came in, didn't win the world title. Sting lost at WrestleMania to Triple H. Taz was the ECW world champion and lost to Triple H. And, you know, there's like so many. Like Dean Douglas from Shane Douglas instead of the franchise. Like just tons and tons of them. Okay, let's see what else we had, unless there's anything else people want to say. I thought the Cody Seth match was actually a really good match, though, was the thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good match. Then we had Charlotte and Ronda. Sarah, do you want to elaborate on that?
That's all you want to say?
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Kicks out of a natural selection, breaks the figure 4-8 lock, and but couldn't kick out of a big boot.
Yeah.
Who booked that match?
Probably whoever booked all of Test's matches, because the big boot is effective if done right, baby.
Yeah. No leg drop needed. Test. Right. Do you know what? Like a few years ago, there was like a Comic-Con thing, and Test was at it. And he was there, and I think he was there, and maybe Stacy Keibler was there as well. And it was just like it would have cost like £10 to go and meet them, and I just didn't want to. So so I do kind of regret that now for both of them, obviously. But yeah,
he was still alive.
Yeah, sorry.
He's still alive.
He was still alive when he was at Comic-Con.
I said
oh right, yeah.
Still alive, so there might be a chance later.
Well, yeah, certainly with Stacy Keibler, but yeah, Test. There you go. What else do we get? Stone Cold Kevin Owens main event, the KO show. And I thought that they did this pretty spot on, like perfectly for what it was. Kevin Owens coming out, like doing his smack talk, Austin coming out, and like, literally, as we were watching it live, I was saying, is he going to come out on a vehicle? And then he obviously went back and he got the vehicle. And that was smart, just for how they used it a little bit later on. You know, it felt like an old school Attitude Era style match, where it was just like, they're going to brawl in the crowd, they're going to go up the ramp. It was a match like they haven't really had in quite a long time.
What I'll say is, one criticism was I wish that they made the KO set more believable. If that makes any sense, like from a production standpoint, like as a producer of shows and stuff like that, if they made it look like, they're actually going to do a KO show and had like actual like standing thing, the desk, anything. They just had 2 computer chairs in the ring, and he's like, "This is the KO show." It's like, no, go on, man.
Yeah,
make it look like this, so like the swerve is more believable, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, I tell you what though, like when Steve Austin just picked up his chair like it was nothing, I was like, Jesus, like this chair, if I was to try and pick this up, Like, my back would be done. So it's just
because your bones are mostly dust, David.
yeah. They are mostly dust. It's true. But yeah, so so for when it was like, oh, I want to challenge you to a fight, I want to challenge you to a match. And it's like, I had my first match here, I could have my last match here. And then obviously the ref came down. Austin doing the kicks at the beginning, I'm going to be honest, it was a little bit like, oh, this isn't good. Because the kicks were very slow. They didn't look like they connected very well. But obviously then they went to the outside, it picked up. I'm always interested when they bring, like, especially when they've brought back Goldberg, but when they bring back someone who can clearly only do a limited amount, like Bret Hart a few years ago. Yeah. It's like, I always think of, like, well, if I was in that situation, and literally, because like you say, Corey, my bones are mostly dust, but if I was to have a match tonight, you know, there's so many moves you can do without, you know, exposing that you can't do moves and stuff. And I don't know why Austin couldn't do his Luthez press. I don't know why, you know, if he could do the suplex, we could have got... He did like a tiny lift slam sort of thing on the outside. But I felt like it was enough, and it didn't feel like a Goldberg match where there was just like 2 moves. But I still feel like there was probably another half dozen moves just for like the highlight reel that they could have put in later on. A DDT, you know, a hip toss. Just have Kevin Owens bump for him a lot. Yeah. There you go. And he was drinking throughout as well.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to react to it?
Yeah, I think they got Stone Cold's age wrong.
What?
Age?
His age?
Yeah, they were constantly saying that he's 60 years old, but he's actually 57 years old.
Oh, I didn't even pick up that they were saying... They weren't saying he was 60, were they?
Yeah.
Who was? The commentators?
The commentators.
Wow.
He's 60 years old, he's doing all this stuff, and all. He's having a match at 60 years old, but he's actually 57 years old.
Ah, there we go. There we go. So, do you know what? I worked this out the other day. He's only 5 years older than Vince was when Vince made his in-ring debut. So, I'll be honest. I think Austin this shouldn't be his last match. Like, he's proved this shouldn't be his last match. He should, you know, we should still get him there long enough to get upset with Vince, to jump ship to AEW, to wrestle CM Punk.
Oh, I was hoping for at least one match against Veer Mahan.
Veer Mahan!
Veer the Veer.
Did you guys see his debut on Raw?
Just squash the Mysterio.
Yep. Okay, let's go on to night 2 of the most stupendous WrestleMania. So this one, it was like I said, there was even less wrestling on it. But there was 2 extra matches because they'd obviously ran out of time for the tag team match on the night 1. But we started things off with RK Bro defeating Street Profits and Alpha Academy. Any particular reaction to this?
Yeah, Riddle's top rope RKO. That was something amazing.
Yeah. Summed it up for me. Okay, so, right, let's see what else we had. Next was, like, the match I think everyone was waiting for. Like, it didn't matter that we only got we'll talk about Sheamus later on, but the Sheamus match, New Day, obviously it lasted 1 minute 40 seconds, but we did get 6 minutes 35 of Omos.
Yeah, it was good.
Against do you know what? It wasn't a bad match. It wasn't bad for what it was.
Yeah, did you see how tall he was, David? Did you see how tall that guy is? Did you see it?
Yeah.
You notice that he was tall?
Just about, yeah.
I mean, if you saw how tall he was, you didn't need a match. You could just look at the man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely agree. Like, you know, he was tall, he lost, I think his career's over. So, well, what now? What now? Like, unless they're going to literally bring back the Great Khali to have that one more Punjabi prison match.
Or he'll be the bodyguard for R-Truth now. Cardiff gets that 24/7 title.
Yeah. Okay, Johnny Knoxville defeated Sami Zayn, 14 minutes 25 seconds, and there was a giant mousetrap.
Look at that.
Like, if Corey, if you lean over to one side, you'll see that the mousetrap is constructed like poorly. So it's like the ropes are pulling it the wrong direction.
Makes no sense.
They're not holding him down. If anything, it'd pull the other way.
David, I dare say this could not catch a mouse.
Well,
controversial opinion, I know.
Do you remember that one episode of Tom and Jerry where Jerry like takes some Frankenstein potion or something and he grows really big?
Maybe that.
It's a good one.
This is an episode for Kappa Step, I think.
It is. Right, okay, anyone else, any particular things? Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn? Like, Wee Man got in there, we had a body slam, which Sami had to jump into.
The ending was botched.
Yeah. What, just with the mousetrap?
Yeah, with the mousetrap. I mean, Johnny pulled the string, the trap didn't go, fell on Sami. He had to do it by himself, by his hand, and almost he himself got trapped in the mousetrap.
Wait, are you trying to say that mousetrap actually didn't trap Sami Zayn, Sergeant?
No. He pulled the string, the trap didn't come over. Then Johnny had to go in and pull the trap by himself, and he almost trapped himself under the trap.
You're telling me that Sami Zayn was not trapped by a man-sized mousetrap in real life?
No.
Well, that's...
Do you know what? This is like... I love it
I'm out. I can't.
Do you know what?
Fake. It's all fake.
I'll be honest, I love it when they come up with something like ridiculous and elaborate and it just doesn't work. So obviously we had the exploding death match with John Moxley and Eddie Kingston like covers him and it's just like pshh. But one from TNA years ago was Jeff Jarrett, you're banned from using the guitar. And then he's like, aha! And he gets out a cello. And he picks up the cello and it just snaps before he's used it. And you see Jarrett's face, he's just like, what now? He's like, this was the big plan, I'm going to have this cello. And it buckled under the weight of like the body of it, just collapsed down. And so it was
less of a cello, more of a cello.
Yeah, and another one from TNA actually was when they did like an Ultimate X match. And like the X that they were grabbing just kept falling down. And in the end, I wasn't sure who it was. It might have been like P.T. Williams or Austin Aries or something. They just went like that and caught it. And it's like, oh, I'm the winner.
It's also from TNA when they were supposed to have a match, but Jeff Hardy was drunk. Remember that? Yeah. or from AEW last night, Jeff Hardy in a tables match. And it was like, oh, Jeff Hardy's eliminated, and then he just continued wrestling in the match. It's like, well, there is no elimination, it's a hardcore match. The table, also the first table didn't really break.
No, it was just like...
They like put him through.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay, back to WrestleMania. Sasha and Naomi defeated Carmella and Queen Selina. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley and Natalya and Shayna Baszler.
Excuse me, you misspoke there. That was Batman and Catwoman.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry, Bunny, Catwoman.
Yeah. So, what? Any particular thoughts on this? So, Sasha broke her losing streak at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Good for her.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a it's so hard to get invested with these stories because these are all there's not one of them is an organic tag team, right?
Yeah.
They're just single stars that they're like, all right, we need a division, let's go.
It was just to get them on the show, basically.
Wait, who's Natalya's partner? Was she in this match?
Shayna Baszler, because reasons.
Of course. Yeah. So they both do moves.
Yeah, they both do moves. You know, they're both obviously Canadian, which makes sense.
Shayna Baszler's Canadian?
No, of course not. I'm lying.
Oh.
Yeah, I
know all the Canadians.
Yeah, hang on. Let's see where Shayna Baszler is from. She's from
the South.
Yeah, South Dakota. No, of course. Yeah. She's 41. Wow.
What?
Yeah, that's insane. I think
that's how old my mom is.
That's how old your mom is. Wow. Okay, so on that note, Edge and AJ Styles, longest match, I believe, out of the whole of WrestleMania.
Why Edge? Why? Oh, edging, because he's edging. That's his name. I understand it now.
Yeah.
He's an edge lord. He likes to edge.
Do you know what, the idea, though, of, the distraction finish, it was, the weakest distraction finish I've ever seen. It's just like you'd been more distracted by the audience being there. Like Michael Cole's at ringside was more of a distraction.
That was silly. What do you think, Sergeant?
If Priest was so much distracting, imagine what would happen if Pat was still on the ring in the ringside.
Well, there we go. Yeah, but like, okay, did we like the match? Edge and AJ, obviously, it's going to be fairly decent between them. I don't think it was the WrestleMania Classic.
Yeah, I mean, except for the ending, the match was not that bad.
Yeah, no, obviously. So it's Edge and AJ Styles at WrestleMania. It wasn't Michaels and Jericho. It wasn't Michaels and Angle. It wasn't Michaels
Omos and Lashley.
Yeah, it wasn't Omos and Lashley. So it was somewhere between Omos and Lashley and Brett and Shawn. But where exactly in between those two metrics, we're not sure.
Yeah, I wish there was like also a better build. I mean, that could be said for any of these matches, truly. But like, because if there was a better build, it would be maybe more impactful, and like the psychology of the match would have made more sense. But it was just kind of just very slow paced and methodical. I mean, that's been Edge's style for the last since he returned, basically, right?
Yeah. Well, it's because like Edge wants just to. I think he gets paid by the minute. It's because like at WrestleMania against Orton 2 years ago, with no audience there, the match lasted about 40 minutes.
And then they had the greatest
wrestling match of all time. Yeah, absolutely.
Which was worse than the first one.
Okay, then we had Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Butch, let's not forget, defeated the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, King Woods in 1 minute 40 seconds. The entrances lasted longer.
That's usually how it is in the bedroom for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that there's been some stark improvement. Any particular reaction here? No.
No.
Okay, I'll give you my. There go, Cora.
Okay.
Okay. Right, my reaction here is like this is the match of people that Vince obviously like hates, because obviously Big E was injured, but it was like he was world champion on day one of this year, and then suddenly it's like, oh, instead of being in a WrestleMania main event, he's not, and instead of being in a 6-man tag, then obviously he was injured, and obviously Kofi Mania ended up happening, but Vince fought it so much, but then gave Kofi like a 6-second or 7-second loss against Brock. Mm-hmm. And then if you remember Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
12 seconds.
Oh, hang on a second. I think if you remember correct, weren't they meant to have another match at a different Mania, and it was put on the pre-show? Like Sheamus has been cut from Mania onto a pre-show, I think, once before. And then, obviously, he won the Royal Rumble and then had the opening match in 12 seconds. And now here, Sheamus is at another WrestleMania. There you go. That's Sheamus.
Yes, Sheamus
1 minute 40 seconds. So...
the Sheamus with 4 eyes.
Yeah. And then literally...
This is how we look here.
Xavier Woods, they took away him being a king a week before WrestleMania for reasons.
Yeah.
So, it was just felt like the match with people... And he called Butch. So clearly it's the match of just people Vince hates. Because let us not forget that the following match was
that was good shit, David. That was
such good shit. But we had Pat McAfee defeated Austin Theory in 9 minutes 40 seconds, which is fine. Look, that's fine. But the contrast of that coming after a Kofi Kingston match that lasted less than 2 minutes. And Sheamus match, but anyway, and then we got obviously another McMahon match. Well, sorry, we got another Pat McAfee match at WrestleMania against Vince McMahon. I thought Pat McAfee looked really good. The backflip off the top rope, the suplex. Yes. I thought this was all good stuff. Then versus Vince. Vince, honestly, he looks like a toad. Like, he looks like he is melting. Do you remember in the first X-Men movie, where there's, like, the Senator?
Yeah,
and he's like, he's like
Better
melting
jelly.
through the bars, and then he just turns into jelly.
Yeah.
That is Vincent Kennedy McMahon right now.
Sergeant? No. I think,
Pat defeats a 24-year-old, and then just 10 minutes later, he gets defeated by a 74-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also, though, Vince...
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I've got to cut you off here. Like, Sarahji, you've just got Vince McMahon's age wrong. He's actually 76. 76.
Yeah.
You know, we can't get their ages wrong here. Not on the most stupendous WrestleMania of all time.
Vince introduced him as a future Universal Champion, too.
Well, yeah, but he also, didn't he once upon a time say that Drew McIntyre was the chosen one?
Yeah.
So, maybe in 15 years' time.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, at least from all of this, we got... That's...
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Vince here, because Vince McMahon got so much wrong. He got so much wrong. Like, right. So first of all, he's like, pose Austin Theory, and Austin Theory is posing, and then they play Austin Theory's music, and McMahon is.
Oh, yeah.
Reacting as if it's... And then he's like, oh, yeah, this is good music. And then Austin's music starts, and he can't do the same reaction, so he's just staring. And then, obviously, the stunner, but in between those two events, Austin's in the ring, and McMahon's just sort of standing there, and then Austin has to prompt him. He says, like, do you want a beer with me? Because obviously Vince was supposed to say, oh, hey, let's be bygones, be bygones. Let's have a drink, see? And he just didn't. So Austin ends up saying, do you want a drink with me? And McMahon's like, oh, yeah. And then he kicks him and he sells the stunner on the kick. And then he goes to pick him up. And he just staggers. And he goes down onto one knee. And
look at that fall. Similar to the 2005 Royal Rumble.
It is.
He tore both his quads.
Yeah.
He tore his quads. It must have been. We got it.
But the thing you don't see on this clip here is Austin is literally pissing himself with laughter afterwards. Like, Austin could have been annoyed, been like, oh, that went so badly. But it looks so good. But I think it's come out in the day or two since that Pat McAfee said, oh, I didn't know I was going to get a stunner. And I think that Austin just called that can't be the last stunner, so you're going to have to take one as well.
Yeah.
You know, which was the right decision to make.
Yeah, and he sold it well with the fucking...
Yeah,
right?
and but also, like, if I was McAfee, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take a stunner from Stone Cold Steve Austin at Mania.
Yeah.
You know, so...
Yeah. McAfee did a great job. Like, he did excellent work. Also, obviously, all of our expectations are so low. I mean, he did good in his first match, too, against Cole.
Baby.
But, like, yeah. But because he's not a wrestler, we don't expect him to perform. So just anything that he does is so much more impressive, like the backflip and the superplex. Because, like, those are, like, moves that are done in, like, any, like, lucha match on a regular basis. But because of who he is, it's so much more impressive. But he sells like a mother father. And, like, the spray of the beer. And then, did you see the quick cut of him drinking the beer? That was... Yeah. He gets it, man. He gets it.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
Sports entertained us all.
He did. Which brings us on to the main event. Maybe it ended early. I'm not 100% sure, just because Roman seemed to get some injury. But Roman defeated Brock. Winner takes all. WWE, and WWE Universal Championship. So...
Unified WWE Universal Championship. The Championship.
No, but is it though? Is it? Because, like, I'm going to check this now. I went on WWE.com and it just, a couple of days ago, admittedly, it had Roman just listed as both champions. And have they given him, like, maybe I missed this on Raw because it was pretty late in the UK, but, like, they didn't bring out a new belt, have they?
Not yet. No. I think they're going to do that on SmackDown this week.
Actually.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, because when you go on to champions, it's got Roman Reigns like twinned with himself, and it just says Universal Champion and WWE Champion. I'll bring it up now just so you guys can see. So look, that's literally, it's just got him with both belts.
Or seeing WWE's record, they might hold it off until SummerSlam, and when a new champion is crowned, a new belt will be presented to him.
Well, I just think, you know, look, if they've got 2 championships, then they can give Cody one, and if he then bombs, then they still have another.
Yeah, but if you on the topic of you saying why a new championship belt hasn't been introduced yet, if you see for the first time when a undisputed championship was formed, when Jericho defeated Stone Cold and The Rock at the same night, the new championship belt was given to Triple H when he defeated Chris Jericho at WrestleMania.
That's true.
Then, when the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship was merged, the new championship was given to Brock Lesnar after he defeated the undisputed champion John Cena.
Maybe they're going to bring back the spinner belt, guys. Wouldn't that be great? Everything.
Yeah.
The tribal belt.
Yeah. Okay, so, but like that, yeah, anything else on the match? Like, I don't think it was the best WrestleMania main event by a long way, but it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen either.
David, it wasn't the best, but it was the biggest.
Oh, yeah, the most stupendous.
The stupendous and biggest WrestleMania match
of
all time. Which is weird because they had that match with Omos, and I figured that they would build that as the biggest match at WrestleMania. Well, he's so tall. David, did you see how tall he was?
Yeah, like how tall? He's 7'4", right?
Yeah.
I need to look at look once again. He might actually be taller because I don't think they. I just went for some reason went to go on omos.com. That isn't right. I wonder what that is. Right, let's check this out. Omos.
7'3". How dare you? You gave an extra inch, and I know you do that often, David.
Oh my God! Do not go on this website.
Omos.com.
Yeah. I don't know what Omos means in a different language, but it's dodgy. Okay, so, anyway, I forget what I was saying, but anything else anyone wants to...
the tallest person, yeah.
Yeah. Anything anyone else wants to react to? Did anyone see either Dynamite or Raw, Supercard of Honor, the multiverse of matches? Did anyone control their narrative this week?
Yeah, I saw it all, but I don't... Here's the thing. I don't remember. My brain is goo, David. So if you give me something else...
I'm not going to lie. Like I'm struggling to remember everything I've seen in the last week as well. The Hall of Fame. What is with TED Talk Undertaker?
That was so weird.
Yeah, he was literally TED Talk Taker.
They gave the Steiners like 4 minutes between the two of them, and like Rick ended up having like a minute to be like, anyways, that's my son. Thank you, everybody. And friggin' Scott gave that rambling thing, and then Taker's just like, I got an hour to talk. Yeah.
And as has been pointed out, he didn't thank Mick Foley. So, you know, I think that, like, you know, never say never. We're going to get one more Hell in the Cell just to, you know, mention me on a pole match between Mankind and Taker.
With Noel Foley as the guest referee.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Whatever happened to her? Wasn't she going to train to be a wrestler at one point?
I think she got enough Instagram followers that she doesn't need to do that.
Yeah. This was like, wasn't it also, like, Arn Anderson's son is a wrestler, but wasn't also there like one point where Tony Schiavone's son wanted to be a wrestler and he just disappeared forever? No?
Tony Jr.?
Tony Jr. Yeah, exactly.
Christian wrestled last night against Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah, like decent match. Like, Christian, I don't know, I think he is going to end up back in WWE within the next year.
Maybe, yeah, because they're not really doing much with him. I think they teased a split with him in the Jurassic Express.
Well, I think Marco Stunt just wants his spot back.
R.I.P. And then there was.
Did you say R.I.P. to Marco Stunt?
Yeah, he's dead to
He's dead to you. Yeah, FTR and the Young Bucks last night, good match. Arguably, I'd think their last match was better. Obviously, this one was in front of a crowd. Well, their last one might have had a crowd. I can't remember, to be honest.
They did the Briscoes this weekend too.
Great match.
They did them.
They did them. They unloaded on them like Veer Mahal. Oh dear.
I don't think Sergeant wants to be here anymore.
No. Okay, so.
Oh yeah, the debut of Samoa Joseph.
Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, I've got a thought on that. Most like Samoa Joe at Ring of Honor, great. I think it was a mistake when they had a Ring of Honor show to immediately put out a thing afterwards saying Samoa Joe is all elite. I think it took something away, one, from him actually being on Ring of Honor. It also just added to the sense that Ring of Honor is just WWECW. Like, literally... Yeah, literally... Dark 3.7. All of the title belts changed hands on the Supercard of Honor. And it was pretty much, other than Gresham in the main event, which they'd obviously announced, it was all like AEW guys with the belts. Even if they've been in Ring of Honor or whatever, it was just pretty much... It was just a AEW event. And then on Dynamite last night, Platinum Max Caster coming out doing his rap. I felt it really... I thought it was funny, but I actually thought it kind of buried Samoa Joe. Because he was like... I can't remember how it went, but it was sort of like... champ. I can't remember. Well,
he said like they had the lowest ratings.
Yeah, when you were the champ on the other side, and you're injury prone. I was like, why are you saying? Well, you're just making this guy sound like a loser, Instead of it being like, this is Samoa Joe.
Supposed to be doing, David. I think he's supposed to be, the bad guy.
Well, the bad guy. There we go. Yeah, but I get it, but I think there is there's the time and the place for it. And I'll give the ultimate example. Triple H was the first one before leading into the WrestleMania against John Cena one year. Where it's like, hey, you can't even wrestle. And that is where the audience started chanting, you can't wrestle at John Cena. And then Cena sucks. And it was from that point. And they never did it before Triple H pointed out to the audience that you couldn't wrestle. So, even if a heel might do that, you perhaps shouldn't do that sometimes. Was my big thought.
Without Triple H doing that, we wouldn't have had the Firefly Funhouse match against John Cena. It's a real A to C move, but think about it.
Yeah, it's true. Right, anyone else got anything else they want to report on or give thoughts on? Like I said, it's been a full week.
That's it.
No?
We're doing prop comedy now.
We've got to do something. Right.
Look, I'm waiting for the debut of this guy. I thought it was going to be at Mania.
I was disappointed that the Iron Sheik wasn't there. Because there was that whole thing about that Mean Gene had announced that he's going to get to the ring at WrestleMania 38. And it didn't happen. And I don't know how completely unforgivable that is. But if we are feeling that we have had a lack of the Iron Sheik today... oh my god. So, the Iron Sheik has shared a selfie, which I will show you. And it says, I look so good, even the Ray Charles could see me. And there you go, that is the latest update from the news desk of the Iron Sheik.
He said the Ray Charles.
The Ray Charles, yeah, exactly. Whoever does... Jada Pinkett, you tried to steal my effing haircut. You can go F yourself forever from the Iron Sheik. Jesus.
Wow. He's got the hot takes, baby.
Yeah, it's everything there. Okay, so, look, unless there's anything else you guys want to share, we will wrap things up there.
Cody Rhodes said in an interview that few AEW talents might be following him to WWE very soon.
Yeah, Marco Stunt, we already established that. Yeah.
They're going to follow this guy.
Tom Selleck, yep, the lot.
Yeah. The guy with a dead caterpillar on his lips.
Yeah. Absolutely. Do you know what? Like, see, and here's the thing. I really like AEW, and I genuinely probably enjoyed AEW more, like, since it's been around, than a lot of what WWE have done. Because even if AEW have like some like botches and stuff like this, they still don't like extract Rey Mysterio's eyeball and put it on TV, or a Firefly Funhouse match, which I think is the worst match in the history of wrestling.
Dave, wait, did you see how tall Omos was?
Yes, I did. Right.
Okay, wow.
Okay, just checking.
What's Sting trying to do?
What is Sting trying to do?
Yeah.
Why?
I think he's singing.
I don't know. I don't know if it's from any recent show or a couple of months older. I think he was in a tag team match with Matt Hardy, and he was trying to catch the guy with a Sting death drop from the second rope, and he struggled as if he was trying to give him, 6 and 9 position.
6 and 9.
6,
Both the
7,
6 and the 9.
Yeah. The 6, 7, 9.
6 and 9.
Right. Okay. I don't know. I don't remember that. But yeah, no. I was gonna say so.
That crazy match. He dove off one of the balconies.
Yeah. But look, I was going to say, look, I really enjoyed AEW, but I'm excited for Cody to go to WWE. Obviously, probably a lot of people's favourite era of wrestling, for anyone like within our age kind of group, would be like going back to the Attitude Era. So people jumping back and forth, I think that's exciting. I look forward to someone jumping, like if in a year's time, if MJF does jump, or if we do get we will definitely get more people go from WWE to AEW. It'll be interesting. Just now, this is like after 3 years, the first shot has been fired back to AEW from WWE, and because they're seemingly going all in on, pun intended, on Cody, it will just be interesting to see where does that go? Where does that go
Who's next?
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I kind of do think I'm going to make the bold prediction here that at some point the Revival will return to WWE. That is a prediction I'm giving there.
It's not just a prediction. That's a spoiler.
That's a spoiler. Yeah. Okay. On that note, let's wrap things up. Sarajit, where can the people find you on the social media?
Find me at @StuffyCosplayer on Instagram.
Excellent. Okay, Corey, where can the people find you?
Oh, giving stunners 24/7, 3, 6, and 9.
Awesome.
Woo!
3, 6, 9. 6, the 7, and the 9. Right.
Oh, that's good news.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the show that I do. It's a local show. We do it every month. We just celebrated 9 years of this show.
Wow.
So it's gone on too long, some would say. And I produce it, so.
This show, Slam Jam. You're right.
Yeah, I produce this show.
Right, okay. So, with that, my name is David Pstansky. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter on David Pstansky. You can also find Slam Jam Wrestling Show on all of the things, including TikTok and Instagram, and there's my face, and there's your face with my face. And I'm wearing the same jacket, so how about that? That just feels like it was me, just like today. But with that, from me, until everyone else sees us again,